Hi there, it's Melissa and I'm back today with a layout that I made for the Cut Shop. I used the Oodles of Doodles cut file and here's a look at my layout. So I used the heart and I enlarged it and I used the love. And so there's the cut files and I've cut them on some Amy Tangerine Better Together paper. I got a pack from the Clip Kit store and I'm coming to the end of it now. So I knew I wanted to fill in the middle heart. And so I just took the heart that had cut out, I guess it's the negative piece, and I just went around it with a pen. And the trick to this is to cut out the shape slightly bigger than the line that you've drawn. So that's what I'm doing now, and sorry I haven't got all of it on screen very well, but it's pretty straightforward shape. Some of the shapes that you cut are more intricate and probably a good practice of fussy cutting. So there it is, and I'm just making sure that nothing is going beyond the outer edge of the inner heart. And I'm just using some Tombow Mono Multi, which is my favourite liquid adhesive, and just putting a thin layer of that on. And then I'll just flip it over and glue it down. So pretty straightforward, this one. Some of the more intricate cut files obviously take a lot longer to back. So I've just pressed it down and made sure that it's stuck. And now I have this 4x6 photo and it's of my two girls at our local cafe, and what I love about it is they basically have the same expression on their face. We get told all the time how similar they look, and it's like they're twins but 5 years apart in age. So I wanted to, I did think about backing it with white cardstock like I always do, but I wanted it to be a little bit softer so that the cut file would appear more bold behind it. So I've just used a piece of vellum, and it's got a couple of holes punched in it because I had thought about putting all this, when I made my December daily last year, I had thought about putting some scripture from a Bible study I was doing at the time about Advent. I was going to write it on vellum, but anyway, I didn't do it. So I have all these pieces that I've punched left over, and I'm really keen to use them up. So here comes the part where I really didn't know what to do, and I've cut some of this out, but it's a lot of playing around and trying to work out where to put my photo and where to put my title. I knew that I wanted to use this branding strip. It had these really cute little flowers on it. So I thought I will use that to ground my layout at the bottom of my page. So once again, I've just glued that down with some Tombow. If it didn't have flowers on it, if it was like a horizontal stripe or, I don't know, polka dots or something, I would have machine stitched it, but I didn't want to stitch through the flowers. So here I'm playing around trying to decide where exactly I want these elements on the page, and I'll be honest, it was a struggle. So I've left some of it in because I want to be real. I don't want it to look like my layouts just fall together, because often they don't. So I've decided on the placement, and as well as putting Tombow, I put it really thin because I want to hand stitch the heart, and I also put some double-sided tape just in the middle of the heart, just to make sure it's all secure when I come to piercing my holes. So I think I hesitated a little bit there about putting it down, but of course once it's down, it's down. And so here I'm kind of still fussing about position of the photo. I thought about putting another piece of paper behind it, but I decided against that. So the next step was to back the love cut file, and the easiest way to do this was just to trace with a pencil around the outer edge and then fussy cut like I'm doing now. So that was not an exciting process. Sometimes you need to trim up a little bit, and that's what I did, and then I just glued the whole thing down with Tombow. I did think about hand stitching this as well, but just the way that the letters are welded together, I was a bit hesitant about how I would address where the letters are welded. I wasn't sure how I would address whether I'd have one line of stitching or two. So here is the hand stitching all done. I did it in white, and yeah, it's definitely a labour of love, but I just love the way it looks, and so it's definitely worth it. And at the moment, I just feel like I want to stitch all the things. I just can't help it. And normally, when before I discovered scrapbooking, because it's winter here in New Zealand, I'd often cross stitch in winter. So it's nice to be able to combine a love of stitching with a love of scrapbooking. So now I'm committing to adhering my photo, just with double-sided tape, and now the difficult part of where to put the title. So these are the embellishments that I'm using. I had won them when this Fancy Free collection first came out. Paige Evans and a whole lot of her scrappy superstar friends, I call them that, they did some giveaways, and I was really blessed to win Celine Navarro's excuse me, giveaway. And the prize was the the wood veneer, wood pieces. So I could not believe it when I got sent my package from American Crafts and it had so much in it. So it was a real blessing to get that. But I'd never used them. I did share a layout on my channel, I think it was yesterday, where I've used these two collections together, so Better Together and Fancy Free. But this is actually the first layout I made with them, and I had wanted to get the Fancy Free papers, but here in New Zealand they just never came. So shipping to New Zealand is shocking. It's so expensive. So I'm really happy that these two collections work so well together, and I guess I'm a bit late to the party with Fancy Free, but I would still be really keen to get the papers if they did come here. So yeah, just so gorgeous. And I am really happy to report that Paige Evans' latest collection will be coming to New Zealand, and it's yeah, beautiful as well. So I just played around with embellishments because I hadn't really planned anything. I love that acetate flower cluster, and I just love how it looks behind there. I had cut down the tag so that you could just see the yellow piece, and then I stapled on the acetate word family, and I thought that was perfect. I mean, it's not all our family, but these two are sisters, so perfect. And there I'm just stapling down one of those little hearts that come in the ephemera pack. I love this little circular, I can't remember what it says, "You're my happy" or something. I love that, but it was a bit much with the busyness of what was going on behind it. So I put the buttons down, and I used a glue dot, which I shouldn't have done, because when I came to stitch them, because I love to stitch my buttons, I ended up gumming up my needle. So if you watch my video from yesterday, I got a bit confused as to which layout I was talking about, and which one I used glue and which one I used glue dot, but it was this one with the glue dot. So my advice is to use liquid adhesive if you plan to stitch behind them. Now I had an awkward gap between the title and my photo, so I thought, well, what better place to put my journaling? And so I just wrote about how we love to go to our local cafe. It's literally probably 2 minutes or 5 minutes walk from our house, and how these girls look like twins 5 years apart. So I've used some waste chipboard from a chipboard sheet to provide dimension, and I just adhere both sides, or even the sticky side, with some liquid adhesive, and it's great. I mean, it's basically, money for nothing. It's using waste and using it to a really good purpose. So I made a little cluster down the bottom there, and I just think it's so cute. I love everything about that. And actually I used that, sorry, just realising what I did. So I did use that acetate piece, and it's the round one. It says Our Happy Place, and so I've adhered it underneath a little thing of flowers or leaves, potted plant, and added some staples and another button. So here I'm just working on another small cluster, and it took a bit of deciding what was going to go where. And yeah, in the end I went with this so fun little black round piece, which is lovely, and the heart. So I did consider having another button, but I didn't think I wanted the buttons to go all in a diagonal. So that's my final layout. I added some black colour shine, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I just love the cut files. I'm having such a blast on this team. It really is a blessing to be on this team. And yeah, I'll be back again soon. Take care.